Postcodes and info to locations in the video are in the description, as well as a link to booking.com. Like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Cheshire. Cheshire is a city in northwest England, founded as a Roman fortress in the 1st century AD. Cheshire Amphitheatre is a Roman amphitheatre in Cheshire. The ruins currently exposed are those of a large stone amphitheatre, similar to those found in continental Europe. Today, only the northern half of the structure is exposed. The amphitheatre is the largest so far uncovered in Britain, and dates from the 1st century, when the Roman fort of Diva Victrix was founded. St. John the Baptist Church is the former cathedral of Cheshire during the early Middle Ages. The church, which was first founded in the late 7th century by the Anglo-Saxons, is outside Cheshire's city walls. The Old Dee Bridge in Cheshire is the oldest bridge in the city. It crosses the River Dee carrying the road that leads from the bottom of Lower Bridge Street and the Bridgegate to Hanbridge. A bridge on this site was first built in the Roman era, and the present bridge is largely the result of a major rebuilding in 1387. It is recorded in the National Heritage List for England as a designated Grade 1 listed building. Cheshire Weir is a weir which crosses the River Dee at Cheshire, slightly upstream from the Old Dee Bridge. The weir and the associated salmon leap are recorded in the National Heritage List for England as a designated Grade 1 listed building. The Queen's Park Suspension Bridge connects the Groves with the affluent Queen's Park area of Cheshire. It was originally built in 1852 at the instigation of Enoch Gerard. The demolition of the suspension bridge took place in August 1922. It was replaced by a new bridge designed by Charles Greenwood and completed on the 18th of April 1923. Peckforton Castle, a 30-minute drive from Cheshire. A Victorian country house built in the style of a medieval castle. It stands in woodland at the north end of Peckforton Hills. The house was built in the middle of the 19th century as a family home for John Ptolemaic, a wealthy Cheshire landowner. It's now a luxury hotel, spa and wedding venue. The castle is faced with red sandstone and has lead, asphalt and tile roofs. It is mainly 3 stories high with a 5-story tower. The buildings are arranged around a ward with the principal accommodation on the north side. It is surrounded by a dry moat which is bridged at the gatehouse. To the west of the inner ward are the stables, the coach house, a rectangular bell tower and the kitchens and service area. To the north is the Great Hall Range which consists of 18 bays. Behind the entrance to the hall is the circular main tower. At the east end of the gallery wing is the octagonal library tower. The outer walls of the castle have full-height slender turrets at the changes in direction. Corbel tables support part of the battlements. The flat roof has a crenellated parapet. During the 1970s, 1980s and early 1990s, the castle was used as a location for shooting films and television programs. These include the Doctor Who series, The Time Warrior, broadcast in 1973-74, and a 1991 movie of Robin Hood starring Patrick Bergin and Uma Thurman. Bridgegate in the south wall. Formerly the site of the gatehouse at the southern entrance to the medieval city, this bridge was built in 1781-82. Newgate Bridge was built in 1937-38 to relieve traffic congestion in the city. This involved making a new breach in the city walls. Northgate in the north wall stands on the site of the northern entrance to the Roman fortress. The present structure replaces an earlier medieval gatehouse. The East Gate clock is a prominent landmark in the city of Cheshire and is said to be the most photographed clock in England after Big Ben. It was erected to celebrate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897. Cheshire city walls consist of a defensive structure built to protect the city of Cheshire. Their construction was started by the Romans when they established the fortress of Diva Victrix between 70 and 80 AD. After the Norman conquest, the walls were extended to the west and the south to form a complete circuit of the medieval city. The circuit was probably complete by the middle of the 12th century. Maintenance of the structure of the walls was an ongoing concern. They were further fortified before the Civil War and were damaged during the war. Following this, they ceased to have a defensive purpose and were developed for leisure and recreation. The walls are now a major tourist attraction. In the Roman gardens in Cheshire. is an arrangement of stones that attempts to reconstruct from fragments a wealthy Roman tomb that once stood to the south of the Dee. The garden is filled with building and monumental stonework collected from across the Roman city. The ellipsoid sign is situated on a stone-broken columnar base, adjacent to the stone arrangement. Chester Shot Tower, also known as Boughton Shot Tower. The tower stands beside the Shropshire Union Canal and forms part of the disused Chester Lead Works. Built by Walkers, Parker and Company in 1799, the tower is the oldest of three remaining shot towers in the UK and probably the oldest such structure still standing in the world. The circular red brick tower is 168 feet, 41.2 meters tall and 30 feet, 9.1 meters in diameter at the base, tapering to 20 feet, 6 meters at the top, with small arched windows. A lift shaft dating from 1971 was removed in 2020. The interior retains a spiral staircase and melting pots. The tower was one of the earliest built to manufacture lead shot using the method pioneered in the 1780s. Molten lead was poured through a pierced copper plate or sieve at the top of the tower, with the droplets forming perfect spheres by surface tension during the fall. The spherical drops were then cooled in a vat of water at the base. A building prominently marked steam mill. Beside the canal was built over the original mill, which was the first steam-driven commercial flour mill, using Boughton and Watt's rotative engine in 1786, and predates the often quoted Albion flour mills in London by 3 months. While work at the Albion mill had started earlier, the Chester engine was the first to be completed. This steam mill was built for Samuel Walker, George Walker and Hugh Lee, Chester corn and flour merchants, on a site that was formerly meadowland. Samuel Walker and his partners were prominent businessmen in Chester and saw the opportunity of using new technology on a greenfield site alongside this then 10-year-old canal. Unfortunately, they did not make a profit and sold out to J.A.&J. Frost in 1819, who built the present building alongside the canal in the 1820s. A diesel engine house and Boughton water pumping station was built in 1913, with later alterations. It was built for the Chester Waterworks Company. The former diesel engine house is of special historic and architectural interest as a key component of the former Chester Waterworks Company's Tower Works, developed in 1853 and subsequently altered and enlarged. Tower Works was innovative, ambitious and architecturally distinguished design by a notable water supply engineer and is well preserved. Bars and restaurants are now located where heavy industry was once located. The same thing that is now happening to the high street. Leave a comment on how you think that will look in years to come. Chester Racecourse is officially recognized by the Guinness World Records as the oldest racecourse still in operation. Horse racing at Chester dates back to the early 16th century, with 1539 cited as the year racing began. It is also thought to be the smallest racecourse of significance in England at 1 mile and 1 furlong long. The cathedral is a Grade 1 listed building and part of a heritage site that also includes the former monastic buildings to the north, which are also listed Grade 1. The cathedral's construction dates from between 1093 and the early 16th century, having been modified a number of times throughout history, a typical characteristic of English cathedrals. However, the site itself may have been used for Christian worship since Roman times. All the major styles of English medieval architecture, from Norman to Perpendicular, are represented in the present building. The cathedral and former monastic buildings were extensively restored during the 19th century, amidst some controversy, and a freestanding bell tower was added in the 20th century. In addition to holding services for Christian worship, the buildings are a major tourist attraction in Chester, and the cathedral is used as a venue for concerts and exhibitions. Chester Town Hall is in Northgate Street in the center. It was officially opened on 15th of October 1869. Northgate has been a staggering 30 years in the making. The first phase will include a market hall within a public square, 6-screen cinema, restaurants within the old library building, plus a new city center multi-story car park. Chester Zoo. At Upton by Chester, it was opened in 1931 by George Mothershead and his family. It is one of the UK's largest zoos at 51 hectares, 130 acres. The zoo has a total land holding of approximately 160 hectares, 400 acres. The zoo is operated by the North of England Zoological Society, a registered charity founded in 1934. The zoo receives no government funding. It is the most visited wildlife attraction in Britain with more than 2 million visitors in 2019. In 2007, Forbes described it as one of the 15 best zoos in the world. In 2017, it was named as the best zoo in the UK and third in the world by TripAdvisor. Chester Zoo holds a large and diverse collection. At the end of 2007, over half the species at the zoo appeared on the IUCN Red List, and 155 were classified as threatened species. 134 species were kept as part of a managed captive breeding program. The Chester Canal was an English canal linking the South Cheshire town of Nantwich with the River Dee at Chester. It was intended to link Chester to Middlewich, with a branch to Nantwich, but the Trent and Mersey Canal were uncooperative about a junction at Middlewich, and so the route to Nantwich was opened in 1779. Telford's warehouse is located between Raymond Street and Tower Wharf. The building was constructed in about 1790 and designed by Thomas Telford. Part of it is built over the canal to allow boats to be loaded or unloaded within the building. In the 1980s, it was converted into a public house and restaurant. Canal boats from all over the UK often moor in the basin, around the corner from the locks. Taylor's Boatyard forms part of Chester's inland port, known as Tower Wharf, at the once busy junction of the Chester Canal, with the River Dee and the Wirral Line. The wharf was a major cargo terminal, utilizing narrowboats and larger Mersey flats, and was also a starting point for passengers traveling to Liverpool. Many of the wharf's buildings and features have since been lost or built upon. Taylor's Boatyard was established in the late 1840s to 1850s by the Shropshire Union Railways and Canal Company as their major boat building and repair yard, and the majority of the yard's surviving buildings are believed to have been constructed at this time. The Church and Bar Lounge are among a lot of busy upmarket restaurants that call Chester home. Hickory Smokehouse has great food and atmosphere. Where is your favorite place to eat in Chester? Leave a comment below. The Blue Planet Aquarium is a marine and freshwater aquarium located by the Cheshire Oaks Retail and Leisure Complex in Ellesmere Port, Cheshire. When opened by the Queen in July 1998, it was the largest aquarium in the UK and is still the largest in northwest England. Cheshire Oaks was the first and remains the UK's largest designer outlet, having opened in 1995. With over 400,000 square feet of retail space, comprising more than 150 boutiques, restaurants and cafes, Cheshire Oaks isn't merely the UK's largest designer outlet. You'll find up to 60% off the RRP on all brands all year round. So make sure to check this place out. So all in all, Chester is a great city, with some great architecture, and some of the finest Roman remains around today. A medieval city with untold amounts of history, with everything from good eating to long winding canals and picturesque views. All the locations in this video are in the description with postcodes and info. There is also a link to booking.com there so you can get prices. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.